My guest today is a jack of all trades. He's an advocate, a podcaster, a master of communication and commentary, and a thief of women's hearts. He's also unassuming, quick witted, and highly intelligent. And did I mention he's a potato? If you told me in the 90s that in the future, Stuttering John would be bested by a piece of produce, I would have slapped you in the face. Ladies and gentlemen, I have the intense honor of sitting down and interviewing Cardiff Electric. Good morning, Mr. Electric.
Good morning. Good afternoon or good night. We don't know when people are watching this.
So I usually break the fourth wall at some point here, but I'll break it now. My intro and everything we've done has been updated, and you're the first person to get all that after we interviewed Bob.
Wow.
We've been trying to update stuff because I'm a big fan of the Shuley Network, and they've inspired me to just be better. Mm-hmm. So you, sir, are the first one to get any of that special treatment.
So what you're saying is you watched the Shuley Network and you looked at it and said, I don't want to be like this crap. I want to be better. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. The Jew has he has the stronghold on that. I can't take that.
How dare you?
So there's one thing I got to ask you, though, because right now in front of me, I see Cardiff Electric Master Potato, but you learned the art of de-evolution because when I originally saw you, you were a box of fries.
Well, that's going way back.
Yeah.
That was my first YouTube experience. I existed before YouTube.
Did you?
I did.
I refuse to believe that.
I did.
So when I say the name Palm Swipes After, yes, we've looked into you. Let's talk about Palm Swipes After, Mr. Electric.
Yes, I hope he's doing well.
You, sir, came to their aid after WATP had a not so friendly review of them. Tell me about that.
What do you mean? Hold on. I think you're confusing the story a little bit.
Oh.
So tell me what you think happened.
I'm thinking... I don't know what I'm thinking anymore. He's already got me. He's got me. Trips, he's got me. What's the story?
The story is WATP gave a not so nice review of Mom Swipes Left.
Correct.
And then Palm Swipes After went after Carl.
Yes.
And then Cardiff Electric went after Palm Swipes After.
Okay, you got the story right.
See? You damn potato, you.
Yes, the Palm, and I since went on to host up to 2 episodes of Mom Swipes Left, so we were able to mend the fences.
I see that.
Yes.
Well, you and Carl seem very tight, but that wasn't always the case because I'm thinking back, the beef with you and Carl. You were the founder of a certain army. What was it called? The SJ Army.
The SJ Army, yes.
Where did it all go wrong, Cardiff?
There's so many twists and turns. But I'll go back to Palm. So yes, Palm showed up on the scene. We watched this. Again, at that time, I didn't have a visual persona.
Yeah.
I was just doing audio. I was just doing audio stuff on WATP, the Who's Right podcast, other tidbits. I made appearances on the Eric Nagel show. Via voicemails. But when I saw Palm rebut Carl's review, I saw this guy in a potato filter. I'm like, the fuck is that? and where do I... Oh, look, there's a whole app that I can just put on all these filters. But since the potato one is already has already entered this universe. I figured there's one thing Cardiff does, and he does well, is he takes other ideas and makes them better.
Okay, so are we now going to start talking about Cardiff in the first person?
The fourth person.
Okay, I accept this.
Look, I'm going to bounce around. Things are going to happen.
Hey, we're just going to go with it. We're just going to make here and here.
Yeah, if you're not ready to roll, then we should end this now.
No, I'm all in. I'm all in.
All right.
So I'm going to throw something back to you though, because you posed a question to Carl that he declined to answer, and it stuck with me.
Chocolate or vanilla?
More important than that.
Oh.
It stuck with me so much because I'm a wrestling fan. In the 1991 Survivor Series, it appeared that Hulk Hogan was robbed of his title when The Undertaker cheated to beat him. Do you feel that it was fair that the referee called that? And if not, should all champions past that date be considered illegitimate?
I still think yes. I don't know who the champion is now. Whoever it is, is it Roman Reigns?
No, it's actually the son of the wonderful
Cody Rhodes.
Cody Rhodes, Daddy.
Cody Rhodes. All right, so Cody Rhodes is illegitimate as far as I'm concerned. He should pass that belt right back to the Hulkster.
I actually remember she brought that up to me, and I remembered it, and I was like, wait a minute. The Hulkster got the title back at Tuesday in Texas.
Yeah, but still, it's the chain of custody of that belt has been. I mean, and obviously that was in 1991. That was the first time a title had ever changed hands under controversial judgment by a referee. That had never happened before.
But really,
I'm standing by that.
Really,
yes, that was the first time.
Really, okay.
Yes. So that is the moment I've narrowed it down to. So I think Hulkster, as far as I'm concerned, the Hulkster is still the champ.
We got to give it a pass though, because look, Ric Flair was involved. You can't knock the greatest of all time.
Yes, you can.
No, I'm going to argue with Cardiff. I have to argue with that. I can't agree with that. All right, I'm sorry. I'm not hiding. You seem pretty laid back for a potato, but everybody knows that everyone has a dark side. And this is a question directly from her, Mr. Electric.
From your dark side?
No, from your dark side. No, from the other side. Your other side where the knots and stuff are.
Got it.
What happened to the SJ puppet?
Well, he was briefly converted to the Chad Zuppet. So I converted him to a Chad Zumach puppet for the Pottstown debacle with the Shuley Network.
Okay.
And I've never converted him back. See, the problem is, here's my problem with puppets. There's this thing called Tukey.
Oh, I know of Tukey.
Yes, I don't know if you've heard of this thing Tukey. So people in the Dabbleverse have a very short memory.
Yeah.
Now, if I was to bring back the SJ puppet now, I would be barraged by people on the Hackverse saying I'm ripping off Tukey. even though I brought puppets in here months before Tukey.
But wait. To be fair, Bob has a vampire puppet. So aren't y'all kind of ripping off Bob?
I think Bob ripped me off.
Kind of like Cardiff did?
Corndiff or Cardiff?
Cardiff.
Cardiff, yes.
And Corndiff.
And Corndiff. All the diffs. So many diffs.
Well, I mean, technically, sir, your name is kind of a ripped off of an imaginary electrical company from an old TV show.
Shut up.
You have tried to help so many people, and you have. You've gone out of your way. Mm-hmm. Kevin Brennan said you suck.
Yes.
Why?
Bye, Brennan. Was that loud?
No, that was perfect. Oh, okay. So tell me about your interactions with Kevin Brennan.
I don't know. I went on his show once. I was on for about 10 minutes. I mentioned that I like E-Rock, and he's never wanted me on again. He kicked me off immediately after saying that E-Rock has a good show.
I've always like looked at Kevin Brennan as like the anti-Shuley. Like but the
Oh yeah,
positive.
he hates Julies.
Oh God, yeah. Oh, he just completely despises Shuleys.
Some people call him the Hitler of the Dabbleverse. Can I say that?
Yes,
Yes.
touche. You say whatever the fuck you want, potato. And also as well as with you and Kevin, I did my research. You really don't like Chad Zumach.
Yeah, Chad's a piece of shit.
Well, y'all started out so well, though. What happened?
Well, I mean, I think we started off well, because anyway. But he went on a rant trying to dox me for he went on a spin trying to dox me for about a month. He had pictures of me, he had names, he had employers. And he made it his mission to put all this out on the internet. It was all wrong. Like, he had all wrong information, so it was fantastic to watch him double down on stuff. But the fact that watching him empowered with information about me just kind of said, yeah, this guy's a piece of garbage.
But you roll into that, and that's one of the things I can appreciate about you. Because all bullshit aside, one of the biggest parts of your shtick is people love to dox you.
Mhm.
I happened to be watching the episode of, I think it was Uncle Rico, where you accidentally doxed yourself.
Sorry.
Because now it doesn't matter. The cat's out of the bag. So, at least as far as
Who's
he's
that?
concerned. And
You gotta see him. You gotta go see. He's funny.
What the fuck was that?
Oh, hell is breaking loose.
He's amazing.
Hi, guys.
And
Glitch.
you got me, you fucking potato. I went and called her. Oh my God, Cardiff doxed himself. We replayed it 3 or 4 times, and she looked at me, and I looked at her. That's not him. I'm like, what? And we go back to your acceptance of the award at the Dabbies.
People of Earth, members of the Dabbling Academy, I'd like to thank you for this honor.
It's a much larger man.
Well, that wasn't me. That was a homeless man in Rochester I paid.
Who has your
With
same
mask.
voice and a Spider-Man mask?
Yes. I trained him. I trained the homeless fat man in Rochester to
I didn't say
Routine.
fat. Jesus, potato. Why do you gotta be so self-deprecating?
call a spade, huh?
So, as in the same breath of like talking about people doxing you,
Mhm.
it has become Stuttering John's mission to dox the potato. Before I go down that route, again, another guy who you were just trying to fucking help. And I felt you're a troll at times, and I think it's hilarious, and you're a smart guy, and you're funny. But I think there was legitimate concern and care to try to help that guy. Am I wrong on that assumption?
No, I was so the show we were supposed to, we were going to do a show in Rochester. We had Subreddit Surfing Live Saturday, March the 9th. Get your tickets then, I guess. And then the 10th was going to be John's return to the stand-up stage in Rochester. It was going to be a glorious event. We were selling tickets. We sold a bunch of tickets already. And legitimately, I wasn't like people think me and Vinny had this plan. We were
Mhm.
going to fuck with John. We were going to, pull the rug out from him at every opportunity and just mess with him. But no, we knew if we just we left John to his own devices. We were going to give John everything he asked for. It was going to be like, you have kids.
No, but I understand where you're going.
Are you fucking?
Yes.
Okay. If you had a kid, and you let him go to you let him go, where do you want to go for dinner tonight? Anywhere you want. Where do you want? I want to go to the candy store. Right? Like, this would be like what we thought we were going to do with John was let him go to the candy store for dinner. Whatever he wanted to put on his plate, we were going to make it happen. John, let's build this show. Like, we were just going to keep whatever John wanted. If he wanted fireworks, I didn't care if we were going to what was the rock band that killed all those people with the fireworks? White Snake.
Oh,
Was it
yeah,
White
yeah.
Snake?
White Snake?
No.
White Lion? I don't know.
Yeah, it's one of those.
Snow. Informer.
Informer.
White Stripes.
No. They didn't kill anyone. The White Stripe never killed anyone. But yeah, whatever he wanted for that show, we were going to give him. So again, with a product that was going to be put on the stage that day was exactly, we wanted it to be exactly what John wanted to present.
Yeah.
And we knew that it would be gloriously horrible. Like that was
Yes.
all it was going to be, right? But again, John, I guess, got cold feet, blew it up himself. Like, I mean, he blew it up himself. He wants to blame Vinny for blowing up the show. He wants to blame me for blowing up the show, but
He wants to blame anybody that's not named John. And
Yeah.
and that my biggest frustration was, again, I go back to you being funny and being a troll and what have you, but I felt, again, correct me if I'm wrong, a legitimate care. You were giving him decent ideas. Hey, let's not talk about Shuli's past. Let's stop bringing that stuff up. Let's try something new. Let's do this. Anything but your political crap. Just whatever you want to do.
Oh yeah. At one point, I tried to get him to do an actual show. Tried to get him kind of organized. Again, I think the worst thing for the Dabbleverse is John right now.
God, yeah.
John just talking about the Dabbleverse. Dabbleverse stinks when John is just all he's talking about is Lady K, Shitwaya, Barbara, right? Like
The fucking potato.
Yeah, well, he doesn't talk about me anymore. I think he's forgotten.
Oh, it's still there. He still loves you.
But I wanted, like, the best content of the Dabbleverse was when John was really not aware as much of the Dabbleverse. Like, I think we all wanted this. We thought, yeah, it would be great if John was firing back at us. But now that we've got it, it's like, oh, stinks. He's just so bad at it.
I feel like he's slowly dying. It looks, he let finger his fucking jaundicey skin tone. I mean, everything. He just,
the eye.
Yes, the sty or whatever the fuck he's calling it, the pink eye, the dookie eye, whatever the fuck it is. I don't know. It's just, but he's been all assumed with fucking trying to expose you and everybody else. He hates fucking Shuli, and that's another thing the shit fucking wear. But that's another thing about you that I find that's really incredible that you have that I don't think anybody else has.
A giant penis.
Yes. Beyond that, you can go anywhere. You can join anybody, and it works. I've watched you with Carl. I've watched you with Shuli. I've watched you with Tukey, and you just fucking work.
Opie?
Is that? Oh, we're gonna get to that. I really want to get to that because I loved you in the Opster. Is it a credit to your personality, or do you like? How are you able to be so neutral?
Well, whenever somebody asks me how am I so amazing, I always give them the same answer. It's because I am what I am, and that's all that I am. No, I don't know. I think I know I host my own shows, but I do enjoy being more the second or third mic, like the sniper. I can just kind of jump in with stuff, and I roll pretty good in a lot of different conversations. So I can fit in a lot of different groups, and I kind of can find my place. Maybe not at first, but I think I've learned to adapt into different show environments.
Now, Tukey, talk to me about your relationship with Tukey.
Stinks.
Stinks.
Nah, Tukey's amazing. I love Tukey. I don't know if you know this. El Horrible is also the guy who plays the character of El Horrible also plays Tukey. I don't know if you knew this.
I did not know that. Did you know that?
Breaking news.
Oh,
breaking.
See, you're hearing it here first on
breaking news. I think me and Tukey work well together.
How did that relationship start? And
it was one of those. So again, this was early on in the YouTube world, right? I started my YouTube channel. I found this potato filter thing, and gave me a a visual aspect to my character, which I guess has taken over everything. I think it seems like the potato is more important than anything else right now. So if I ever lost this app, which I almost did a couple times, by the way,
Oh shit.
I would be tragic. But I think Dabbler started to do some shows on YouTube. So he started a YouTube channel a little bit after me. Like I think we were, I want to say we figured out we were like weeks apart from starting YouTube channels. And he started doing shows with Kevin Dumbfuck. I don't know if you remember Kevin Dumbfuck, Pissgate, OJ. And I started checking in on these shows, and they were talking about me, and I was talking about them. And I saw some of the stuff he was doing. I'm like, and it was just one of those things where I kind of, we were drawn to each other. I ended up doing I saw a thing he did, and he was trying to get to DabbleCon. He was trying to raise money. I think his mom said if he could raise $1,000 on YouTube, he can go to DabbleCon. So he started a buy me a coffee thing.
Yeah.
So I dedicated one of my streams to raising money to promote his stream. So I was already going to DabbleCon. I'm like, I want this guy to come to DabbleCon too. This would be fun. Two idiots running around DabbleCon
In masks.
causing shit in
Or
masks.
getting homeless men to pretend.
Yes, of course. And so I did that fundraiser stream, and we just started putting each other on each other's streams. And I think we work well together.
So
We
would
knock
you
each other.
consider, other than when you stole the potato avatar,
Mhm.
would you consider yourself the father of the vegetables?
In the Dabbleverse, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So
I mean, John technically would be the father of the vegetables.
really,
But I'd be the Duke. No, he's the Duke. Shit. I'm the Prince of the
produce.
potatoes. Yes, the Prince of Produce.
I like that. That's mine. You can have it, but
Thank
I
you.
expect royalties,
Of course.
of course. I'm catching on, potato. I'm catching on.
Good.
Okay.
Took you long enough.
That
23
being-
minutes.
Fuck. What do you want from me? All right. You're a brilliant fucking spud. I can't. It's hard to keep up. All right. And your
Keep calling me
beautiful
that.
beautiful fucking teeth and lovely eyes, and you've already trying to take my fiance from me.
Oh, I will.
I know you will.
Yeah, you will.
For fuck's sake, I'm right here.
We don't care. We'll make you watch.
Motherfucker, I got cucked by a potato. That being said, I wouldn't have considered John to be the father.
Well, he's a vegetable.
Oh, absolutely. He's a fucking, yeah. But he could have been a cabbage. Yeah. The Opster.
Oh, that was the best. Somebody super chatted that to him. I think I pulled it up on the last episode of Potato Soup. Somebody referred to him as moldy cabbage. And it was just such a perfect descriptor of John.
He's wilting every fucking day. Yes.
Yeah.
I would have considered Opie the father of the vegetables as far as y'all go. I know y'all were there around, but I know when I was looking back and doing some of the research, it was the episode where Opie met you for the first time and y'all talked. And there was a humbleness to you that is, I'm not sad it's gone, but it was almost endearing to watch you and Opie interact and your beef with Corndiff at the time and whatever the fuck Cordiff is.
Yes.
Tell me about that. Tell me how you got introduced to Opie. I know that you're an old fan, but tell me what it was to get to know Opie and everything that came with that.
And I'll just start that. Maybe that whatever. I don't know. I haven't watched my first appearance on Opie since I did it, I guess. But like legit, I was a fan of Opie and Anthony. I mean, and I was never the guy that I know a lot of people say like now, oh, Opie sucked. And I mean, we're looking at it through the lens of today. Back in the day, listening to the show, I never heard the show was just great.
Yeah.
Right. I never noticed Opie derail the show or ruin the show. Maybe a couple times, obviously. but it was just the show was the show. It was fantastic. So meeting him, virtually meeting him was kind of like the first time I was like, holy shit, it's Opie, right? Like when I met Kumia for the first time, I was sitting there just I kept saying, I'm sorry if I keep fanboying out here. Like when Kumia was doing an impression of me in front of me, I was like, what the fuck is happening? How the fuck is I was just waiting for Patrice to show up. I'm like, this is all I need is Patrice and Jim Norton to show up while I'm doing. I don't know if you heard Patrice is dead though.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. Too soon.
It's still too soon.
But yeah, just meeting Opie the first time was it was cool. I mean, I know he's not what he was, but it was just like it was the first time meeting John virtually, but
yeah,
a little different. I think
because we know what John is. I mean, and like to be fair, John was John.
Mhm.
John's been John.
Yes,
a slow decline.
Mhm.
I loved that because I felt that when I knew you were a fan of his and watching y'all interact. Well, it's much like this because like I said, we're a huge fan of yours. And again, breaking that fourth wall, I told you when we first jumped on, I was like, dude, I'm a mark when it comes to fucking the potato. I love the fucking gimmick. I love everything about it. I'm a big fucking Kumia fan. I don't dislike Opie. I feel bad for him at sometimes. I pity him. But I understand that he took a fucking turn. It's just what happens, and I feel bad that he's in the position he's in. But some of that is self-initiated.
Mm-hmm. I think Opie suffers from the same thing John does in a way, where Opie was very successful. Basically, he was very successful doing exactly what he's doing right now when he was on the Opie and Anthony show, except the fact that he had a team of people around him, right? He felt he was the only one running the show, but he wasn't, right? So as a piece of a show, he was great. And I told John the same thing. As a piece of a show, John could be like, John should be a second or third mic. And I told him that to his face. If he was a second or third mic on a show, he would be at least it would be something watchable, because it wouldn't be. You need somebody like all the that's where somebody else should be talking.
Yeah.
Right. And then when John has something to say,
yeah.
he can come in with that. But
I mean, even going with Opie, I'll say
sorry, but both of them think they were the center of attention.
Yes, and right? Opie's issue was he kept saying that, I found Ant and I did this, and I'm like, bro, dude, y'all made a great team. Mm-hmm. It was y'all that made something together that was beautiful. And I look at John, I'm like, Howard made you, partner. I'm sorry. It just, when I go back and look at the old Howard stuff, I never liked John. I didn't like his attitude, some of the stuff he did with Robin, the whole fucking Heineken trip, everything. I can never find him likable. Maybe, and he has his fans, but I was never going to be one of them.
I'll be honest. When John, watching Stern, listening to Stern, John coming in to the room, into the studio, was always like, all right, let's see. Right? Like there was, I mean, I obviously when they got into it and they started beating on him and how, pathetic he was as a human being, even back then. But it was entertaining when he came into the room. But obviously, as you dig into him, he's horrible.
Like I know a lot of people dig into his personal life and Opie's personal life. That's not my bag. That's not my thing. I'm not into the doxing shit. I don't care. Like if I never find out who's behind the fucking potato, I could give two fucks. I find you entertaining for who you are. You're a quick-witted, funny guy. Getting to sit here and talk to you, I don't know if people will notice this as they watch this. I'm getting more comfortable because you're not a piece of shit like other people who you're not.
Fuck you.
You're not entitled. You just take the fucking compliments, potato.
Okay.
But again, it goes back to those guys. Like I watched that episode where the vegetables met Opie.
We have names, damn it. Oh, there goes Opie. Oh, dance. Look at the oaks.
And y'all elevated him to a point where he was watchable. He looked depressing and miserable. He was talking about how he was only getting wasn't getting super chats and this and that. And y'all literally, in a matter of one fucking episode made Opie likable. Do you know that you did that? Do you know that y'all have that power? And what was your mindset after that? Because if you went in as a fan, clearly your mind had to be changed after that.
Yeah, no, I saw instantly what we were able to do, and again, it wasn't just me. Just with the trio,
Yeah.
of Cardiff, and Cardiff. And Cardiff, I think you went. Let's go back. How you asked how I got involved with Opie. It really was Cardiff. Cardiff
Really?
was the first one that showed up on that show. I think
Really?
Opie started putting the link out, the StreamYard link out on his members only or Facebook or whatever. And he put the link out and said, anybody wants to jump on. So Cardiff, I guess, was a member and got the link and jumped on, and he sees this corn thing. And we all saw this corn show up on Opie. I think WATP covered. I'm like, what the fuck? How did we do this? And I think I immediately messaged Cardiff. I'm like, I want in. I want in. Next time this happens, let me know.
So let me ask you this.
Cardiff actually brought me in. I'll give him credit for that.
As a fan, how nervous were you to jump in that link and meet Opie?
Oh, no. I don't. Nerves, no. I don't care.
No?
And I wasn't nervous about it. It was cool, but it wasn't like, oh my God, I'm going to see Opie. Like, it was just, at that time, I'm just thinking, how do I get on? How do I guess I'm just thinking about how do I do anything with this? How do I, what approach? I mean, the Cardiff character has had a few different turns and
yeah,
things. So I'm like, is this another one? Which way do I go with this? But that's everything I do. It's just like, let's see where it goes and adapt. And
speaking of turns,
the turn.
Okay. Speaking of turns, Opie was not very happy that you were on WATP. And that eventually led to y'all's, I guess, delusion or dissolve of y'all's relationship, I guess. What happened? And
no, it really just faded away. I was going to New York, and I told him I'm coming to New York. Let's do a beer show. Like I brought gimmicks with me to go to Gebhardt's when I was in New York. And he just stopped returning my messages.
Do you have any theories on why? Or
no, it was just I think he realized he thought he was becoming a bit of a sideshow with all the vegetables, and he's like, if I don't course correct now, this is the route I'm going down. Like, I'll just be the goof. He still wants to do a legitimate, I guess, show, if you want to call it that. But I think he felt if he kept having the vegetables on, it was going to be he wants to do the beer show. He wants to do the live at Gebhardt's. He wants to do. Yeah. So I just figured he needs to wash his hands of it. But I think someone sent me a clip where he mentioned me maybe a month ago or so, where he's like, yeah, I should have Cardiff back on. So maybe he's open to it, but I'm not a fan of 7 a.m. shows, though.
Okay. A perfect world that's not 7 a.m. Apologize. I just figured since you did an AM show with Opie, I might take the chance to get a.
No, I think I suggest. It's 9:30. It's fine.
Well, for you, it's fucking 8:30 here.
Yeah, so. Well, it's too bad for you. Move.
Oh, fuck no! I like Texas. It's
change your watch.
It is where your namesake's from. Damn it. Perfect world. I would love for you and Opie and all y'all to get back together because I really thoroughly enjoyed that. I thought that there was a real fucking. I think he has a platform that you need to be seen more. I would love for you to get more eyes on you. I mean, to be honest, like even though you're everywhere, not.
Well, I'm going to be honest. More people see me on my channel than on Opie's channel.
Well, but he's got that name.
It shouldn't be that way. Like, he's got 80,000 subscribers.
Yes.
And it should not be that way. I should not be a bigger entity than the Opester, but unfortunately I am.
I'm a fan of a redemption story, and I don't see a redemption in John. That's never going to happen. I've given up on that. Not that I ever believed that was going to happen, but I think there's something to be said about Opie. I think that he is at his base a decent guy.
Mm-hmm.
He's got some quirks.
He does. I'll tell you my ultimate goal, and it wasn't even my goal kind of starting out, but it's kind of turned into this. I will. And I just hope nobody does it before me, but it's possible. I will get Opie and Anthony both together on a show with me at some point. I will be the new Jim Norton. That's what I'm saying.
Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah.
But no, I really do. I'm actually pushing to get the two of them on a show somehow together at some point. But I know it'll be difficult. But if the potato can put those two men on screen together, I think that will cement my my legacy. I will just walk away from the Dabbleverse at that point. I've done it all at that point.
I think that would be a good thing. I think that they're old enough now that it's time to just let the shit. I don't know. I think Ant can. I don't know if Opie can, but I would love for them to let that shit go. Mm-hmm. They did a great show for years. It was a show beloved by you, by Trips, by so many people. It would be wonderful to actually get them to sit down and have that, at least just burying the hatchet for real.
Yes, it would.
So we'll see what happens with that. But you are not just a man who goes to other shows and does their shtick. You have your own shtick.
Legend.
And one shtick I love in particular is your fucking subreddit surfing.
You're the guy.
Yeah, I'm the guy. I'm the one guy. I watched you talking about it with Opie, and I got into it, and I watched the episode where you were talking about the vajankle.
Ah, yes, the vajankle.
The vajankle. Did you ever invest in a vajankle? I must know.
Listen, what I do in the privacy of my bathroom, it's my business. All right, not yours. Next question.
Saying inquiring minds wanted to know. Okay, just saying.
Buy the book.
Tell me about subreddit surfing. How did it start? How did y'all get together? Just talk about subreddit surfing.
So I had the idea for subreddits. I think W8, Who Are These Socials, had just started. And so who are these socials Carl does with Blind Mike, as you know, and they go through different social media platforms. But they would do Reddit, they would do a segment on Reddit, and I'm like, there's so much fucking shit on Reddit. Like the initial concept of subreddit surfing was all these fucking, like, Dabblers Anonymous is obviously the Reddit we all know and love, but I was saying there's so many of these different subcultures on Reddit, and I was always a big fan of radio, obviously, and Coast to Coast AM was something I always used to listen to back in the day. You ever listen to Coast to Coast?
Never.
So it's an overnight. I usually fell asleep probably listening to it a lot of nights. And it was Art Bell back in the day, George Norrie, whatever. All these different hosts over the years have hosted it, but it was just
aging yourself, Potato. You're aging yourself.
AM radio, I know. When I was, never mind. But they would have, it was usually like supernatural stuff, aliens, Bigfoot, whatever. But they would have these guests on, right? And I just kind of envisioned, there's a lot of people in these subreddits. I think it would just be fascinating to talk to them. So the concept of the show was, hey, we're going to pick a subreddit. Like our first episode was meth. We'll post the StreamYard. We'll post a StreamYard link in the meth subreddit and see who shows up and talk to them about meth. Like, why are you on this subreddit? Whatever. We quickly learned that people on Reddit don't like to come on shows. Yeah. Like we were getting banned from subreddits all over, kind of like just asking people to come on the show, right? Like people were like, you can't do this. This isn't what we do. Nobody would want to come on. So it's harder and harder to get guests, but we still try. But that was the initial concept of the show. We want to like dig into a subreddit and then talk to people from that subreddit, right? Like we had guests on from dumpster diving. Like dumpster diving, people were more willing to come on, shit like that. But
well, I think the lighter the subject, the easier. I mean, when you're going into fucking meth, are you a narc? Are you a fucking narc, Potato? I mean,
people from Meth came on. People actually came on, but that was just kind of the idea of the show. We wanted to like just dig into. Again, I wanted to do something non-John. I wanted to do something that was.
It's a brilliant, it's a brilliant concept. I think I couldn't have thought of something like that. It's so simple. It's just.
And initially, like I said, Who Are These Socials just started, and initially I wanted to annoy Carl a little bit too. So
I feel that love-hate with Carl sometimes.
it's fun. It's fun to annoy Carl.
Well, I like to call him fucking Lance Bass when he had his fucking bleach tips. It was hilarious. But again, it's again, everything's working together. Y'all have a wonderful fucking synergy. But again, the subreddit surfing concept. Say it again.
Mondays at 8 on YouTube.
Mondays at 8 on Cardiff Electric.
No, on Subreddit surfing.
I'm sorry, Subreddit surfing. I apologize. The links will be in the description.
Yeah. Actually, sometimes we put on Cardiff Electric, but I want you to watch it on Subreddit surfing.
I watched you.
Confusing enough?
Yes.
Good.
I think if they're not confused, they're going to find you anyway because there's probably a hit on you by now.
Probably.
You did want an astral projection.
Yes.
And not that I've ever been into astral projection, but I've had friends who were super into that stuff. I'll just say this: I work in the healthcare industry, and some of them sit down. They've talked about and they've talked about,
You could give me fentanyl.
We'll talk after the show.
All right, thanks.
I got you.
Fentanyl's bad. We shouldn't do that. It's not a joke about fentanyl. People are dying from that.
Well, they're dying of meth too, and you did a whole episode on meth.
No, meth is fine. Meth is like organic meth.
Was that like clean coal?
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly.
As long as we're on the same page. But again, you were talking about astral projection, and I mean, as interesting as that was to me, it made me realize you're not just another dabbler. You're not just a guy in the fucking Dabbleverse. You're a brilliant little fucking potato.
Thank you.
Who's not so little when he hires a homeless man.
Yes, that is correct.
And I do have a bit of a bone to pick with you. Potato soup.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck you and that fucking song. It is stuck in my head and I can't get it out.
Which one?
Potato soup. That one.
Oh, that's a good song.
That's a very good song. Mm-hmm. But I can't stand you because I was at work in a professional aspect and I walk down the hallway and I'm humming and I just blurt out potato soup and one of my coworkers looks at me and goes, "What the fuck are you talking about?" I wear body armor. I wear a weapon. And I am 6'5", 315 pounds singing about potato soup. You son of a bitch.
You know, I really like that. Like I used to love Jim Norton when he would hear a story about one of his characters infecting the lives of a relationship. Right? Yes. Like he would talk about some guy that sent him a message and his wife, this guy would send him a message that his wife was so annoyed that he would do his Chip impression every time they were at the grocery store or something. And they were on the verge of divorce because of the Chip character. So that makes me happy. That,
John almost fucked me over literally because we were having a lovely time. I got up and I said, "Skull." And she gave me the look of fucking, "I'm going to stab you in the face." I love you.
Perfect.
But again, this is a whole universe. It's an amazing little sect of the world that I hope nobody else finds because it's going to ruin their lives.
Mm-hmm. It's so you came in recently, you said?
I've been listening to her and O&A and stuff for about 3 or 4 years. I didn't get into the Dabbleverse until I want to say 4 to 6 months ago.
See, that's fascinating to me. Like people that are coming in, part way through. And I know it's grown, right? Like it's obviously grown since the beginning, so I shouldn't be surprised, but like I'll call it the second generation of dabblers. That's what interests me the most. The people that kind of showed up and there was this whole backstory already kind of just laying there for you to discover. It's interesting, but it is an interesting community.
It really is. But the thing is, like, I would like to consider myself someone of decent intelligence, and you get sucked in. because I see someone like you, I see someone like you, and you're clearly brilliant, but you wear a fucking potato filter.
Of course.
Come a long way in a short amount of time. Like, how does it feel to be so influential? And again, it's not like you've been there since the beginning of the Stern days or the fucking O&A days. You just kind of showed up like everybody else. Oh, you're a potato, and I'm gonna fucking cause chaos.
Well, I did. Yeah, I mean, I never really had a venue. I mean, but I did O&A. I was submitting song parodies. I was submitting bits and not really bits, I guess, but mostly song parodies. I would send in kind of back in the day. So I always kind of want and I always even Stern. I don't think I did anything, or I don't think I tried anything. I called in a few times. I got on the air once or twice back in the day.
I think you said that John kicked you off.
A couple times. Yeah, there were a few times I never got through. I never got through the John wall. But it was yeah, I guess I don't know where I was going with that. But like, yeah, I wanted to contribute, but I didn't know how. I didn't know how to be a part of it. And I always looked at the guys like you know, the regular callers and stuff, and I'm like, I could do better than these guys. I could do better. And a lot of people do. A lot of people have that same thought, right? Like, I would be better on the show than this guy. I would be better on the show than that. And even O&A, I used to listen a lot. And when the comics would come in and just listen to the hang, listen to them talk. And I'm like, fuck, I could roll with these guys. But I know a lot of people think that too, right? Like, a lot of people say that and they show up and they're, so I probably would have done the same too if I was ever given the opportunity. But I don't know. I always just felt like I should be part of something, and I just didn't know how. And then this world showed up, and I was able to insert myself into it somehow.
Well, speaking of this world,
Yes,
you've done the Stuttering John stuff. You were with the Great Opster. You started the SJ Army.
I did.
You've warred with fucking Kevin, Carl, and anybody with a letter name K. You are a racist potato. You hate the Italians.
Oh yeah, fuck them.
Fuck the Italians. I'm part Italian, so fuck you.
Only the bad part.
Yeah, fuck that part. You've done so much in a short amount of time, but what's next, Cardiff? What's next for the Great Cardiff Electric?
I don't fucking know.
You killed my fucking final question. What the fuck?
I don't know. What am I gonna do? Whatever happens, happens. That's the way. Look, I take that approach with everything. I don't have a master plan. I never had, like, things have worked out for the Cardiff character so perfectly in some cases, like it was scripted that way. Like, this was my plan. There's never been a plan. Nothing. This potato wasn't. Nothing was planned. It's just like, let's see. Okay, this worked. This didn't work. Right? Like, I've had characters that didn't work that nobody talks about anymore. But just wherever it takes me, and whenever and that's the thing I want to say too. It's when I'm bored with something, and I usually get bored with stuff pretty quickly. So I'm surprised I've done this as long as I have. But when it's not fun anymore, when it's not, I'm not going to do it anymore. Like, it's just, I'll just do what I want to do when I want to do it. And I've gotten to the point in my life where that's what I enjoy doing. So I'm not going to say what's next, because I don't know.
Fair enough.
I'm going to do the Rebellion podcast. That's what's next.
Cool. I'm happy that you came on.
Did I say it right?
It's a Rebelcast, but
whatever. The Rebelcast. There you go.
So, Cardiff, I have enjoyed this. You're fucking everything I thought you'd be and more. Thank you for putting up with my bullshit, because I was fucking nervous as shit, and she gave me shit about that.
Big star.
That being said, I'm Dan. That's Cardiff.
Oh, nice to meet you, Dan.
Nice to meet you, Cardiff. And we'll see you in the next one.
You can call me Steve. Oh, cut that part out.
Fuck!